Welcome to March's edition of 4 and 4. I'm Kathy Halgren, Director of South St. Paul Public Library, and I had such a hard time narrowing it down to just 4 books to talk about this month because there are so many good ones out there right now. My first book is How It All Began. Charlotte, a retired English teacher, gets mugged. From this one event, the Daltons end up in divorce proceedings due to a discovered text message that ended in "love you," left by neither of them. Marian, a decorator, meets wealthy George Harrington while taking her Uncle Henry to a speaking engagement in Manchester. Uncle Henry totally blows his speech and considers publishing an article featuring a scandalous letter to regain his self-respect and place in the world. And Charlotte moves in with her daughter Rose and begins tutoring Anton, a Central European man who speaks English very well but can't read it. This book is written by Penelope Lively, who I might say is a British Elizabeth Strout. She's really got a handle on characterization, and one of the major themes of this book is the positive self-absorption that leads to knowledge and betterment versus negative self-absorption, full of delusion, regret, and immaturity. And people are much more than what they seem once they let a little flexibility enter their lives. I loved the British slang like wet lettuce for an old boyfriend, and at first I thought the word shirty was a typo until I looked it up and realized it meant annoying or irritating. It's a lot of fun. In The Snow Child by Eowyn Ivey, Mabel and Jack, a couple near 50, have moved from Pennsylvania to Alaska in the 1920s to start over after suffering disappointment and loss. They'd always thought they'd have a large family, but it just wasn't meant to be. Now in Alaska, Jack toils to clear a field while Mabel wonders if she'll be able to last another season in this harsh but beautiful land. And then something magical happens. They build a snow girl, complete with scarf and mittens, and they begin glimpsing a child in the woods. And she's wearing the scarf and mittens. So this story is based on the Russian fairy tale about a snow child, but who is she really? And why does she only come around in the winter? One of the things I loved about this book is that while we're learning about Faina, the snow child, the other characters discover facets of their personalities that they never imagined existed, and they blossom too. Others who have read this book thought it was worth every minute. Some people love futuristic novels. I definitely pick and choose among them, and Hilary Jordan's When She Woke had me hooked from the start. It opens with Hannah Payne waking up in jail, which has become a warped version of reality TV where inmates' actions are broadcast to the public. What makes this even more unusual is that criminals called chromes are injected with a virus that colors the skin, red for felony, blue for child molesters, yellow for misdemeanors, and so on. Hannah is red. She has had an abortion and will not name the man who impregnated her or the doctor who performed the procedure. She lives in Texas, and the majority of the U.S. has become quite conservative, at least legally, due to a pandemic that caused sterility in women. Children are essential for survival of humanity, propelling the religious rights agenda into law. As a red, Hannah has been implanted with a birth control device until she is beyond her typical childbearing years. It's a modern retelling of the Scarlet Letter, and I couldn't wait to find out what would happen next as Hannah struggles to survive in this unforgiving world. Many people might argue that violence begets violence. In William Landay's Defending Jacob, 14-year-old Ben Rifkin is found dead face down in the park by his middle school. Andrew Barber is the prosecuting attorney for the case, and he believes Ben's fellow students are keeping something from him and his investigative team. Then he gets an email directing him to a Facebook page where his son, Jacob, is accused of murdering Ben. Things get more complicated when Jacob's fingerprint is found on Ben's shirt. What Jacob never knew was that the males on his father's side were jailed for murder and other crimes. Has he inherited a murder gene? You'll have to read it to find out. And while the trial occurs, Jacob's mother and father get to know each other and their son like never before. That's all for this edition of 4 and 4. See you in April with 4 more titles in 4 minutes.